tie a bow on last week's game because of the magnitude. I'm sure there's a few things that people still want to hear. And it would be easy to talk about just the loss itself, but I mean just the fact that you guys put 35 points up on a ranked team. I think that I would like to kind of focus on the positives. Talk
Right.
about some of the positives from that game.
Yeah, there was a lot of positives. That being one of them. Our offense has been pretty consistent in terms of putting up some yards. I mean, we went over 400 yards against I think today they came out as they were 13th in Northern California, of all schools, of all sides. So that's very good for us. It's something that we can build on. There were, the points, the explosiveness, the never say die kind of attitude. Those are all things that, you need to build on and take as positives for the next game and for the playoffs, because that's where we're at. We've qualified now for that final season, and that's where we're heading, and that's the direction we're going. So we need to be able to build on those positives. And the other thing is, in the past against a team like Central and our Central games, the following week has been typically a letdown in terms of not enthusiasm, but I mean just people are beaten and they're beaten up, and it's hard. It's a physical game, it's an emotional game. And Monday, and it takes a little while to get going. You get into Wednesday and Thursday are really your good days, whereas we didn't really see that as much this year for some reason. And that's, I think, a testament to some of the off-season stuff the kids do and how much they prepare in the off-season. We got some guys that are beat up, but not to the point where the whole team is downtrodden and hanging their heads or just beat up physically. The morale is still there, the focus is still there, that we want to take care of Hilmar and then move on into playoffs on a winning, on a winning note, on a positive note, and keep this thing rolling. So that's another positive too. It wasn't. I'm not expecting a big letdown this week as opposed to years past where we've had. We've gone against Central, and then the following week we play Oristimba, and it seems like it's a closer game. So we're looking forward to this week, and I think the guys are excited about coming out, and let's rebound a little bit, and let's get into the playoffs on a winning note.
Because of the way the schedule was set up this year, it's basically back to back. Your two toughest league games. Talk about the ramifications of this week's game, why it's important, like you say, that to not only finish on a winning note, but kind of have that edge over Hilmar in the standings as well.
Right. It's this game. It can go either way. There's two paths you can go down. You play it safe. We're both in the playoffs. We both know we're in the playoffs, and we just don't know where we're going to fit. And there's two roads to go down. You play it safe. You play passively and more defensively, and you keep guys healthy, and you just kind of go through the game. And let's not get anybody hurt. Let's focus on our playoff run and that type of thing. Or you go on there with the same attitude you would for any kind of league championship game or intensity for any type of big game you're going to get up for, and make it a must-win situation. And regardless of what you show to the next opponent or what you show to anybody in the playoffs, that type of thing. And so those are the two routes you can go. So the first one, you play it safe. You may come out with a loss, so that puts you in. Okay, you're in the playoffs. You play the Mudlow champion, Argonaut, on the road in Argonaut. You win, and you go to see the TBL number 2, which is now Modesto Christian, at Modesto Christian, and you force the other team to go to, force Hilmar to go play at Argonaut. It's a team they've already beaten, and looking at it, I would expect that Frank would get those guys going and keep it going and beat those guys again. So there's a possibility now. You look bigger picture, and then don't look past a playoff opponent or look past anything, your next opponent, whatever it is. But you got to see big picture. If there's any chance for us to get a home playoff game, we need an upset, and we need another upset. We need two upsets to happen: our own and Hilmar, or and the other team. And so by setting things in motion, by coming out here and get this game in a must-win situation, and assuming that we take care of business, because that's the expectations now, that we go out and we expect to win, then that sets up a home semifinal with somebody that we've already beaten in the league. And that's extremely important for us right now. I think that's huge, and I think a lot of people are missing that point a little bit when it looks at, when you look at things where, you go over there and you got to play, Modesto Christian. Hey, there's some revenge factor going on with their Modesto Christian 2 years ago. That's the team that knocked us out of going to UOP with 32 seconds left, and it was at their place. So, we want redemption against Modesto Christian as well. So, either way, wherever we fit, our expectation is to win. But bigger picture, I want to go out there. I want to beat Hilmar and then in 2 weeks host Hilmar to get to UOP, a team that that we've already beaten, and a team that we know a little bit more about. And so that's our mentality. That's the mentality that we're going to go in this week, and we're not going to go down the road of playing it safe and being passive and keeping guys healthy. We want to go out there and we're making a must-win situation for us, and that's really what it is. Our playoffs started last week because that's the gauntlet we're running. Central, Hilmar, playoffs, UOP. I mean, that's a huge 5-game season right there. So I think we're ready for it. I think we can get it done. I think the kids are up to the challenge, and they're going to come out intense.